Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. For this week's reading, I am using the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So my intention with this reading is to get some fresh ideas and inspiration for the week ahead, and I'm going to draw 3 cards. And each card is going to represent kind of a segment of the upcoming week. All right. Okay, so let's begin. Before I turn over the first card, I just want to let you know that I post these videos every week. So if you enjoy this video, please hit that subscribe button, give me a like, leave me a comment. And let's have a look at the first card. So the first card is Death for the beginning of the week. And I have to admit, I didn't have a good sleep last night, and then I had a nap, which was 3.5 hours. And I woke up feeling like I'd been hit by a bus, and I had a huge mug of coffee, and I'm just not feeling myself. So I thought I would lay the groundwork and lower your expectations for my reading ability today. But I'm actually glad to see the Death card, because this is a card that I find very easy to read and to connect with in the tarot deck. And this is the card for the beginning of the week. So Monday, Tuesday-ish. Death signifies a few things. It signifies change, and it signifies letting go of something, getting ready to start that new chapter. So death isn't so much it precedes a new beginning. So it's kind of like the most difficult part of change. The hardest part of change for a lot of us, I think, is letting go of the old. And so death signifies the most difficult step, or the most difficult part of change. So the beginning of the week is a time, I think, to let go of certain things. And I think you'll know intuitively what those things are. And for some of us, this could signify a major thing that we're releasing and letting go of, saying goodbye to. Or for many of us, it could be something more minor in nature. I think when we get a major arcana card, especially a really powerful one like the Death card, it can be tempting to think it means something really big and momentous. And sometimes it does, but a lot of times it can signify something a little bit smaller and more subtle. And it's sometimes the smaller, more subtle things that actually have a bigger impact than we realize. So letting go of something could mean, and I love to use the example of like clearing out your closet, clearing out your cupboards, getting rid of old things and clutter and stuff like that to make room for life, getting rid of the clutter that's sort of weighing you down. That's an example of how this card can show up in a more minor kind of low-key kind of way. But ask yourself, what am I ready to let go of this week? Or what do I want to let go of this week, if it isn't obvious to you right away? Let's have a look at the middle of the week. So here we have the 5 of Swords. All right. 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is a tricky card. It's one of those cards that I struggle with. So of course it would show up in a reading where I'm like not all there, or I'm feeling kind of out of it to begin with. Okay, 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords asks you to examine your motivations and your intentions. Are you trying, and I feel like this pertains to relationships, could be romantic relationships, friendships, or even work relationships. but I feel like this card pertains to the relationships in our lives. Are you trying to be the winner? Are you trying to like win an argument? Are you trying to be right? Or are you trying to truly connect with the person and see their point of view? Because the Five of Swords suggests that you may be more concerned with being right than connecting with the other person. And you may not be aware of this. So the Five of Swords is here to kind of bring that to light. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to say on that. The Five of Swords reminds you to be in your heart and not just your head. So even if you are right, maybe it's not so important that you prove that you're right to the other person. Maybe that isn't the point. Maybe that isn't what needs to happen here. And I think when we shift from our intellectual center, from the head, down into the heart, into our feeling emotional center, it changes our priorities and it changes how we approach relationships. And I think that being right or seeming clever or being the virtuous one or, proving a point becomes less tempting and less desirable. And instead connecting with the other person, really understanding where they're coming from becomes more important. Okay, let's look at the third card. This is for the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And here we have the Ten of Cups. And I like that we have the Ten of Cups because we have a couple of difficult cards. Death, Five of Swords. These aren't easy peasy, breezy cards. And the Ten of Cups is a really happy, uplifting, positive card. The Ten of Cups represents dreams coming true. And just as I was babbling away about the Five of Swords and kind of what happens to our relationships when we center ourselves more in our heart as opposed to our head, the Ten of Cups is really the result of that. So this is like the best outcome when you're in your heart and you're connected to others. It can result in this Ten of Cups like existence where there's a lot of love, a lot of good vibes, a lot of happiness and joy and exuberance and positivity happening. A few questions that come to mind with the Ten of Cups. I think it shows that there's a lot of potential this weekend to really connect with those in our life, particularly family and really close friends. And it also asks you, what are your dreams? Like, what is your idea of utopia? If things didn't have to be realistic, ideally, how would you like things to be in your world? And are your actions, and coming back to the Five of Swords, are your actions and your feelings and your mindset in alignment with your idea of utopia, your dreams? Because sometimes they aren't, and we don't really realize it till we look closely at it. So Ten of Cups ask you, what are your dreams? What's your sense of, the ideal life? And be willing, I think, to question it a little bit too. Like, why is it that you want the things you want? Be willing to hold it up to inquiry. Okay, let's have a look at all three cards together. What's interesting is Five of Swords and Ten of Cups. There's not a lot of movement happening. People don't seem to be going anywhere. Everyone's kind of standing still. And with death, all the people, again, aren't going anywhere. They're standing still. The only person moving is the death figure. I don't know what to make of that. I'm just I'm just thinking out loud, I think. Let's see here. Just off the top of my head, I'm not seeing any... I was going to say I'm not seeing any common themes, but actually I am. So there's a river running through the Death card. We can see a little boat there. And over here, there's also a river. But of course, the Death card and the Ten of Cups are two kind of almost polar opposite cards. And if we look at both of these cards, there's 4 people in the Death card. And there's also 4 people in the Ten of Cups card as well. They're not the same people. They're different people. But there's 4 people there. And there's such a big transformation between what's happening for the people in the Death card to what's happening for the people in the Ten of Cups. And it seems like there is a sense of, it's like things get lighter and more joyful as the week goes on. So I think that any challenges that we face at the beginning of the week and even in the middle of the week, there's a high probability that we'll be able to resolve those things by the weekend. So really exciting 3 cards, I think. It'd be interesting to see how this plays out. And I want to hear from you. I want to know, is there anything in this reading that you noticed that really jumped out to you? Feel free to share in the comment section below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.